crossing over like I am.
Welcome in everyone to NECC's Collegiate Marvel Rivals. I'm Vaudable, and joining me in the booth for the final week of regular season action, week 7, is the one and only Shibby. How you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. We just got concluded with our last international tournament for Marvel Rivals, the major, or however you want to say it. Vaudable, you were there. I'm sure it was amazing in person. I was jumping out of my seat when I was watching it online. The meta is crazy, and I'm going to expect that the collegiate teams here have done a little bit of their due diligence, and we may be seeing some of that carry over into today's games.
I'm really curious about it, too, because even hearing from the pro teams, they struggled, some of them, Dark Zero notably, they mentioned it themselves, to adapt to the change in meta up to this point from Season 4.5 going into that competition. So now that all things are on the table, you could play the Daredevil, which we saw a decent amount of. Even seeing VP play it towards the end there, we also saw a lot of that from Chopper Mag and some of the OCE teams. I'm curious if we'll see any of it. Looking kind of at the stat collection that we've seen here, thank you, Shibby, who's given us a bit of an insight to what these teams are playing. I don't really notice too much of it for the most part. It's just the standard affair where you have, the Luna, you have a Jeff, there's Mantis and Cloak typically there for these players. Psylocke, there's one player that's played so much Psylocke on one of these matches that is kind of insane. I think he said, 1,000 games?
1,100 to be exact.
1,100, even more.
1,100 matches on Psylocke. Now, that obviously is in totality of Marvel Rivals' existence, not just in one season. Hopefully not. I'm pretty sure I tallied it correctly and I went through all seasons. But yeah, we've got a lot of interesting characters. I think that's kind of what collegiate esports has, though. You look at any other game, right, that has like heroes or characters, some games from that I'm familiar with, like League of Legends, obviously Overwatch. You've got players and students that are very good at very specific things or are very good at one specific hero. And sometimes you can ban that out. So I'm really hoping that the teams that we have competing today have done at least similar amounts of research that I have. Because I know if I'm drafting for one of these teams, I'm focusing on that Magneto one trick. I'm focusing on the Psylocke guy, the person who's played like 800 games of Strange. I'm honing in on who is who, as we do get the rosters for our first match of the day. It's Messiah Esports versus Stevenson University. Show, Mads, Sizzy, Acclamation, Aiden, and Vision of Snipes versus Biggie Thanos, Scattered, Little Jim, Toasty, Captain Baltfro, and Yo Spency. Vaudable, you'll hear me say it every single week. I love the names that come out of Collegiate.
Oh, they're great. Yeah,
it's
Big Thanos is amazing. It's not Big Thanos, it's Biggie Thanos specifically onto that one too. So, I mean, kind of seeing the rosters here and the preparation that they've put into it. We have a former one above all duelist on Stevenson University A, so they might have a little bit of an advantage on terms of that. But in terms of ranking that these people have played this specific season, most of them around Diamond, some Celestial, some GMs, so pretty even in terms of current play style from these teams. But Celestial Husky is going to be our first map that will start here in our best of 5. And one thing to note here, since this is the final week, we have selected 2 matches where the teams are currently tied. And whoever wins makes it into the playoffs, into the top 4 to get their berth into the history books for Collegiate Marvel Rivals. So whoever wins this series basically guarantees themselves a spot. Of course, there's still some tiebreakers, reports from other matches that we still have to get in the background, but they're both tied in record. So at least one of them has the best shot if they do get the victory here, Chevy, to move on to those playoffs.
Yeah, and this is the first time we're going to get Celestial Husk. This is usually the map that's banned out, rightfully so. It's a giant circle, but both teams have opted in to banning out Birnin T'Challa, which is fine. I don't mind that, but it is going to be our first time ever getting Celestial Husk, at least for us two. I know for over here at the NECC, and I like the fact that you brought up, cementing your place in the history books, because this is the first official year of Collegiate Marvel Rivals, right? NECC is their first official partner, so making it into the playoffs is a momentous thing for any school. That's something that you can bring home to your director, bring home to the guys above and say, hey, we made it in the first official year of this. And yeah, I'm gonna rag on some of these guys a little bit. I will say this. Don't let me outrank you. I'm GM1 in season 4.5. You can't let a caster outrank you guys. Play the game. Play some Marvel Rivals. We do, like you said, have some Celestial players. Although the peak ranks, yeah, these guys are miles ahead of what I've ever been. That one above all player that you talked about, Pinkie Pie specifically, was one above all on console. So that we have a lot of mixture of console players that are coming in and playing PC for the first time, either in the labs or maybe the remote. So it's a very different thing, right? To get acclimated to the heroes that you play, specifically if they're very aim heavy or if maybe they're more melee based. So I'm really interested to see how Pinkie Pie specifically, you know, adapts in his new role, I guess, on PC. Specifically, he's playing Duelist, though, so Hela, Spider-Man, Punisher, that's what this guy plays, and we're already getting through the ban systems, and I'm seeing some similarities from Atlanta of Audible.
Yes, a lot of similarities here. Order a little bit different because in Atlanta we typically saw a Jeff or a Mantis ban at the start of it, and now we did see a Mantis Protect. We are seeing bans of Hela. People do not like the Hela Namor team up, especially because you cannot destroy those monster spawns. It's so annoying with that as well, so they don't have to worry about the Namor from that either. Captain America was lethal from what we saw on Virtus Pro, the team who ended up winning it, and Psylocke is the best duelist in the game currently, so I mean, I get the reason to lock that in. Venom's also very strong, especially when you go dive. If we do see a Jeff, Venom Jeff is also amazing, especially because you can use that team up to build up your ult charge that much faster. So I'm curious if on either side, especially Stevens, if we do see some sort of Jeff play, because Bucky's a good counter for it. When you see the ultimate come out, you can use that Kraken impact, try to take them out as quickly as possible so that your team can survive the ultimate there. But not having to worry about the revives from Adam Warlock is also a big thing too. We did see a little bit of Adam Warlock play there in Atlanta, but at this level of competition in Div 3, I think a full team bring back is a lot more effective than you would typically see, even so at like the top level as well, just because you just don't have as much sustain at this level of competition as you would in some of the other levels.
Yeah, and just to note, the big difference between this banning system and Atlanta's is that the characters that you see saved and banned are universal, right? So Mantis and Phoenix are available for both sides, and the bans that we see, the Hela, the Emma, the Captain America, those are also not available for both sides. That's the very crucial difference, at least from the pro level, where the pro level, you're banning the enemy's heroes and you're saving your own, and vice versa. But Biggie Thanos does get his Magneto. It's his most played character by far comparatively. Like, he has a little bit of Mr. Fantastic in there. He's got a Thor, but Mag is his most played. Scattered as well gets the Venom. And mind you, Scattered is a flex player. I was doing some research, just making sure on my end that I was looking at the right profile. If you were to look him up on Tracker, you would be like, this guy plays Rocket, Torch, Jeff, right, Wolverine, but he is in a flex role. He's playing Vanguard for Messiah Esports, so we might see a couple growing pains for Scattered here. Obviously, he's had 6 weeks of play. He's at the record he's at, but I mean, this is kind of do or die, like you mentioned, Vaudable, for both of these teams. One team's in, one team's out, barring any like weird tiebreakers. Obviously, both of these teams want to come in here and get the victory.
Well, we do see the team up that we were kind of expecting here on the side of Stevens University A, with the Jeff and the Venom so effective with that, and also the damage boost, double damage boost technically, with the Storm and the Mantis. So already getting into the action, trying to see if they can win that first team fight before the point even unlocks here as well. That's what we like to see from these teams, making sure they establish themselves early. A lot of teams kind of struggle to set themselves up for success from the get-go on domination, because it's really kind of a 50-50 coin toss for the most part. Already diving in, though, is Acclamation. See if they can get a pick early on to the point, but just keeping some pressure on the rest of the team and making sure that it creates some space for their side.
Yeah, and the fact that Psylocke was protected and actually not being used by either of these teams is really interesting. You'd love to pair that up with Venom. Acclamation does get frozen out here and actually gets taken down. That's a big kill for Messiah Esports, who have now turned this point into a 6v5 situation. And this is where, as I say that, Stevenson goes down another individual. Messiah Esports 6v4, and they're going to cap this point. First fight win going over to Messiah Esports. Vaudable, so crucial in control point.
Yeah, this is massive to make sure you win that first team fight. And Scattered here on the thing, seeing if they can at least survive a little bit longer. That's a big difficulty too for the thing, because again, they have some get out of dodge options, especially with the added kind of leap that they have available to them so they can go to their teammates. They can also dive in a little bit better than they used to before once they added that actually in, which is nice to see. But we've actually seen a lot more Star-Lord recently too, just because you never really see them banned out too often unless there's a one trick out there. There is the Goddess of Death that comes out, Zell, or actually not Goddess of Death, excuse me, Omega Hurricane with the Japanado to see if they can clear off the point. Legendary as well from the Star-Lord. They are popping all of their ults to see if that's going to be enough for them to hold down this point, but CVC University still doing pretty decent, only 2 people dropped.
Yeah, that Japanado not getting the value that you wanted to. 1 kill for 2 ultimates. Messiah Esports will take that every single time, and there goes the Cosmic Yard Amplifier just to kind of secure this point and back Stevenson University into their own spawn here. Pinkie Pie, though, has flexed over to the Mantis. A 3 support composition for them. Does have that ult available, and clobbering time comes in, lands onto Sizzy, who will finally go down from Captain Velatro, the support for Messiah Esports. It looks like Messiah are just playing like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, that's a good look from Messiah Esports again. You know, Pinkie Pie, typically a duelist, but flexing a little bit here to the strategist side of things, probably to support their team a little bit better there as well. The way that we see them playing the triple support, and not too surprised. I mean, Mantis is pretty decent, especially because you have that damage boost. You get self-damage boost there on the side of things too. Acclamation, I mean, we saw them do pretty decent at the start to get some positioning on the point, and now we're finally seeing an overtime scenario for Stevenson University, but they do need to win it this team fight. The thing is going to do some massive damage, forcing the bubble out from the Magneto. They're not going to have that to save their strategist on the backline. Speaking of that, the Meteor M comes through. We do have the Mantis ultimate keeping them in the fight as well. Meteor M did not even go off. It exploded in midair before they can even use it.
Another Mantis ult coming in from Spence this time. We're going to see in response, Jeff, the Land Shark ultimate gets multiple members. Both tanks are in Sizzy's tummy, but can he actually spit him out? It's just the Magneto. Unfortunately, you do have to go off the map to take down the thing, and that interaction is actually what leads to his death. The point does get flipped, but temporarily. Scattered's on the back line. They do have a tank here, but Messiah Esports, they understand they're at 99% vaudable. They can stack ult and win one fight, and the round is over. As he does get stunned here. And Acclamation, buddy, I think you're a little too deep here. Has the ultimate available, gets frozen. The shield gets used. Bubble as well. Saving Private Acclamation. Stevenson University gets him out.
The perfect web swing to get away to. Cosmic Iron Amplifier, they're trying to get rid of it as quickly as possible. The Legendary does come out. Galactic Legend. Phoenix ult too. Just try and get rid of some of those hazards around the play, and the beacons themselves don't want to have to worry about that too much from a Toasty. But completely pushed off the point to Stevenson University. They need to keep somebody touching here and now. Otherwise, Messiah Esports will take that advantage themselves. Acclamation barely staying alive and could not swing into safety. Just went up the wall instead, and well, Itsy Bitsy Spider goes up the water spout, and unfortunately the rain came down that time.
That's an Itsy Bitsy Spider. I don't want to know what a large one is. And with Messiah Esports, with that kill, are going to take round 1 of Celestial Husk. Gonna take the hand, and I'm gonna move on to the Codex map. Arguably my least favorite out of the 3. Although all of them are giant wells and circles, this one is the worst because of the random verticality and the weird cliffs and everything like that. But Messiah Esports...
It's tough for Venom to play.
Yeah, 100%. Messiah Esports is doing a damn good job, though. Specifically, I love what Little Jim was doing on that Star-Lord. And
I
it
could
looks
not
like...
read that name for the life of me. I get it now.
It's Little Jim. It's
Little
very
Jim,
little.
but little text.
Yeah, little text, Little Jim, Psylocke, and Toasty. Toasty this time opting in for the Star-Lord, and Little Jim going to be opting in at that Psylocke. Maybe testing the waters a little bit on what they can and can't run into Stevenson University. Maybe they're confident. I love the fact that they're pairing up the Venom with the Psylocke. I wanted that in round 1 from both of these teams, and it looks like at least both squads will be running the best DPS here. And like you said, Pinkie Pie has been playing a little bit of Blade. I didn't think he would be able to bust it out, though, so early.
Yeah, nice to see. I mean, we'll see how effective they are with it. A lot of Blades kind of struggle knowing their positioning. It's more of a mid-range hero and more of gun instead of Blade from what we've witnessed. So see how they're going to be an integral part to at least pushing onto the objective. And since they don't have to focus too much on heals and buffing their team, I think that's exactly what they need to do. They need to be able to frag out against Messiah Esports and get this first objective, but already it's being positioned perfectly here. Lil Jim getting some good shots from the side, but still not enough for a pick early on for the KOs, and seeing if they can at least get one if they dash in. Ooh, there it is.
Nice triple headshot coming out from Lil Jim. Pinkie Pie does get res there, so still a 6v5. Toasty actually takes out MP3, so they're down with support, and Stevenson get absolutely clobbered. That was a relatively anticlimactic team fight. Didn't really even feel like a true team fight. Kind of felt like a couple picks coming out from Messiah, and Steven said, well, we got to give the point over.
Yeah, not too surprised on that one. There is a little bit of a map differential between these two. There's only been 10 map losses for Messiah Esports and 12 for the side of Stevenson University. Both of them have 11 wins, 50% win percentage, 3-3. So, again, as I mentioned, this is to make it into the playoffs for Marvel Rivals Collegiate here in Div 3. Lil Jim kind of only got one pick, but the rest of their team is able to pick up the pieces and at least get a couple more onto Stevenson University, just dominating the name of the game mode here against their other team. And Stevenson, they do have a couple ultimates available to them, the Invisible Boundary and the Meteor M, and you can see we have a controller player here. Shout out MP3 player. Maybe they're using the MP3 to play the game. That'd be kind of cool. But either way, Messiah Esports, I mean, they also have their own ultimates. The Meteor M, they need to bait that out so that they can use the Galactic Legend more effectively.
100% here. Messiah do have a deficit in that ultimate economy, and I want to see Stevenson not dump too much, right? Legendary coming in from Toasty, gets answered in kind, and a nice aerial dunk from Shosho to destroy Toasty in the legendary. Captain Balatro, though, is going to pop the Luna Snow ultimate, and Bigger Thanos, or Big EP Thanos, is going to miss with his Meteor M. Stevenson University needs to make this count. They need this fight win. They have invested a ton of ultimate resources here, and luckily, they don't have to burn the dance of the butterfly. They are going to wipe away Messiah Esports and temporarily flip the point. And a nice little stagger potentially coming in on to
Massive.
Mantis.
don't need
and that's
it.
going to buy them percentage. Yeah. Tough. I'm afraid because Stevenson has burned, what, 4 ultimates in that time frame. Messiah still have scattered. Say a Feast of the Abyss. Spence is coming back up with that Mantis ultimate. And before you know it, Little Jim will have a dance with the butterfly. We do see scattered coming in. Nice Feast of the Abyss. Lands onto multiple members here. And now we're going to see the dance of the butterfly getting popped from Vision. That's a big kill onto Balatro. And a nice follow-up kill on the scattered.
Okay.
Yes, you get taken down, but that's a 2-for-1. Messiah, you're going to have to back up.
Super work on the trade there for the side of Stevenson University, but again, one touch, one team fight loss will lose them this map, so they cannot afford to drop as much as they would need to in some of these team fights, especially looking at the ultimate economy for Messiah Esports. Lil Jim, they do have their Dance of the Butterflies available. They're going to be popping it and seeing if they can at least get a pick. They did get one onto their support, seeing they get the Nabor as well, but actually can't secure it just yet. Looking for the final hit, barely bobbing and weaving away, and they do manage to finally secure it. Scattered also picking one up for the road, and there's a triple coming out. See if they can get the quad here onto the thing. They will escape barely the Yancy street charge, but it does go down before they're credited with the 4-piece, but they still technically get it either way. So that OT basically set and done, and we'll go to the next map.
Stevenson University. A little bit of flickers of life there, but realistically, Messiah Esports pretty much played, I would say, a 90% clean game. That's an A- grade from me. I think they played very, very well here. And honestly, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more adaptation from Stevenson University. Scattered with the MVP. That's kind of surprising considering how well Little Jim and Toasty did. But maybe we'll get a final kill count. 17 elims, 4 deaths. Let me see the final hits. Maybe Scattered was the true hero here. No, yeah, Little Jim, 10 finals, Scattered 6. I guess it's a little bit harder to do on Vanguards here. So, you know, MVP rightfully deserved.
So
does have the
that's
most.
what it is.
As the most kill participation in the game, was pretty much in there every single time. And hey, damage block 26,000. That's pretty
Huge.
damn good. You did your job as a Vanguard, whether you were face tanking it or using your own shield here. But yeah, Messiah Esports played really, really well. Snipes did have moments of brilliance there on the Psylocke. Maybe they should have opened up with it in round 1. Personally, that's what I believe. Pinkie Pie, that Spider-Man's not real. He was just swapping over to potentially touch the point. But yeah, I feel like maybe Stevenson University have run into a little bit of a wall here on how they're going to pick their duelists. Because right now, the Hela being banned away from Pinkie Pie means like his next best duelists are Spider-Man, Punisher, Bucky. And again, I don't know if he's playing on controller in PC or if he's actually adapted over to M&K. It's a big difference.
It is a big difference. So we'll see if they can make sure that they at least secure one of Pinkie Pie's duelists as best as they can. So that way they're feeling a little bit more confident in that role. They can be more effective for their team here. But I think the biggest story that we always see here, Chevy, for these Collegiate Marvel Rivals games is that these teams, it really comes down to how it is in ranks. Coordination. If you don't have that coordination as a team, you're rolling out scatter and haphazardly, as you could say there, you don't really have the best coordination to get onto the point to secure yourselves. We saw a couple of times too from the side of Stevenson University where they were just running at the point and didn't really know exactly what they were going to do. I mean, Acclamation tried desperately to stay alive a couple of times and see if they can keep things going towards the end to secure some extra time, but it staggered them a little bit too much as well, because they were not actually with their team. So it delayed them even longer, where they could have gotten those precious seconds on the objective. So the timing maybe not working out as well as it would have liked, but also some pop-offs from Messiah Esports is ultimately what lost them at that first map. And again, it's domination. A lot of teams struggle with it. Really, the big boy games are the Convoy and Convergence. So we'll see once we get into those, Shivy, exactly what maps we'll get into next. Because again, Messiah Esports is a great start, but they need a little bit more because this is a best of 5.
Yeah, and Vaudable, I want to say every week we've been on, we've had at least one 5-game series. Some days we've had 2. I think we've gotten a clean 3-0 day for us. So Messiah Esports, Stevenson University, if that indicates anything, you've got still a long road to climb here before you get to your victories. And yeah, coordination just looked on point for Messiah. I 100% agree.
Oh, yeah.
With Vaudable. Felt like Stevenson was, like a bit disjointed. Like their dive was going in and then the damage was followed up, but then it was too late because the healing already came in from Messiah Esports. Where you looked at somebody like Scattered, like Little Jim, who were kind of, 1-2 punching a lot of the supports or coming in, understanding how many resources they needed to use. And I don't know, I can't put that all on somebody like Pinkie Pie. Yeah, he is the highest rated player in the game, but he's only one person, right? It is a team game at the end of the day, and you can only do so much. So maybe some of these other players do have to step up a little bit more here. I like the fact, that we get Central Park. Vaudable, that's one of your favorite maps, correct?
I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, it's so interesting, too, based on the different compositions that you can see. Sometimes at the start, you see that 3-3, similar to Midtown, specifically with that. But a lot of times, it's just, can we hold the first objective as long as possible? Yes, okay. Now we just got to get on the point. Sometimes portal onto it. Sometimes you take that outside path if you use specific heroes, like Angela, like the Spider-Man, as we've seen some people like to play sometimes. Even a Wolverine can get back there too. So there's a couple different options that they can go for. Also the long flank around to the left side too. So I really like the options that we can see here in terms of that. I think the big thing here as well, because it's not the Ignite bans, it's the MRC style of bans that we witness for these teams, is okay, you have the bans at the start, then you got to plan after that on what you can do with your secures. Because again, giving the Mantis to the other team, I think with that actually benefited Messiah Esports a lot more, because we saw Yo Spence just do crazy work with it, so many assist plays and just great damage as well, and keeping their team alive and in the fight and having that damage boost from the start. We did see a storm in there at one point, but that didn't really last too long. They swapped off it pretty quickly because the Mantis was all that they needed. So making sure that you also prioritize securing stuff for yourself that doesn't also benefit the other team is the big thing to think about on this one.
Yeah, I loved what Spence was doing, where he was damage boosting either Little Jim or Toasty prior to the ultimates. That's kind of like that small, minute stuff that you don't really, look at until you've really practiced and played with each other a lot. Getting the stacking damage boost, like you said, with the Mantis, and just kind of, overwhelming Stevenson, I think, was the big thing. Like you mentioned, the Jeff NATO didn't get the value that it needed to, mainly because Messiah Sports did a really good job kind of scattering away and understanding that, hey, this is their only win con. As long as we only lose 1 or go 1 for 0, we should be able to flip it and turn it around relatively quickly. And yeah, Scattered on a tank that isn't really that popular, right? Thing barely got any play. I don't think I saw a lot of Thing at Atlanta specifically, and I don't think he's been
not
that
really
good.
Sometimes in the triple tank, triple support lineups, you would see a Thing, especially on Midtown. But outside of that, not really too much. So we saw Acclamation on it a little bit, but they went 3 and 5. So might have been a better option to swap to something else on that side of things too. Again, there's the Emma they didn't have that available to them, and I think that was also a detriment to Acclamation. Looking at, they play Mag, Strange, and Venom, and well, Mag was played by Shosho on their side of things, or not Mag, excuse me, Strange was played by Shosho, so they could have played Mag, and we did see a little bit of Mag from their side before that, I believe, but didn't really last as long. Wasn't feeling as confident on it, so a couple different options that they can go for in it this next map. I'm gonna kind of be keeping an eye on Acclamation to see how they do specifically, because they need to step up a little bit for their team. On Messiah Esports, though, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing here, Chevy. They've done everything correctly, even though Scattered had 4 deaths. I mean, that's because they were going in and fragging out, getting those final hits, taking that damage, and distracting the rest of the fire from their backline. So we'll see what they do here in the picks and bans, and that is smart from Stevenson University. You do not want to have to deal with the Psylocke here.
Yeah, little Jim doing work, putting the fear of God into them, and I kind of want to see Stevenson University lean into what they're good at, right? Run a Mag Strange with a solo DPS Punisher, and then run Mantis on top of that. It's a very popular composition. Messiah Esports, though, is going to take that hella away from Pinkie Pie, which arguably, like I said, is one of his most played heroes of all time. They are going to end up saving that Venom once again. Maybe we'll see Acclamation put some more hours, put some more time into this Venom. I love the Emma save here specifically from Stevenson, because they anticipate that dive composition, maybe Captain America Venom or Angela Venom or something like that. Arguably, Emma is the best answer to that, but confusingly, they will ban away the Winter Soldier. This hints to me that Stevenson want to run a group composition on defense.
I mean, we could see it, but kind of looking specifically at their side, Shosho does play some group, but recently they haven't played it as much. And yeah, it doesn't take much to get back into the saddle playing group. Invisiwoman is very effective, especially on that first capture point, so I getting rid of them. You don't want to have to worry about that whatsoever. There's still a lot of other strategists available on the field there. What I'm most interested is these secures from these sides, because again, it does give it to the other team. They're making sure that they lock down the Bucky. I mean, we've seen some Bucky bans here in Collegiate Marvel Rivals. I feel like the Bucky was effective, yes, for Toasty, but I don't think that would have been a priority for a ban on the other side when there's so many other options that they could have gone for. So I mean, hey, maybe it's just trying to throw them off their game, say we don't mind if you ban something else. So we'll see what Stevenson University has for their final. And the Phoenix again, I mean, we didn't really see too much of Phoenix in the last one, and Phoenix was saved before. So I mean, Phoenix is decent, but not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I think it's really just an answer to the Rocket that'll most likely be played by, just any support on Messiah's side specifically. I think Rocket gets a ton of value on this map simply because of the verticality in this one. Even on the first point, like you can hide his ult behind so many different pillars. You can get his res station in really wacky spots. You can also just position Rocket in areas where like no other support or DPS can really get to him, like really, really high areas. Ooh. And I love the fact that Messiah are like, hey, if you're going to run Rocket, like I don't want to deal with Penny, which is, I think, arguably her best map, first point specifically.
100%.
It's so disgusting, the kinds of setup you can get here. I am interested to see if we are going to see a Jeff. I felt like we saw a little bit of it last map. Didn't really get the effectiveness it needed to. But every single point in this map has an area where you can drop people off into the abyss here. First point, obviously a lot easier because it's that area on the side that you mentioned. But also that second long point, even the third one near the bridge. There are a lot of opportunities for Jeff to make big plays here. It looks like Pinkie Pie will open up on the Namor temporarily, but I don't want to believe that just yet, as we are only 30 seconds into prep time. But Messiah are keeping a relatively simple composition. Like you said, you don't got to really change too much. Little Jim on the Star-Lord, and then we have a 3 support composition coming in from them. So a single duelist, albeit a supercharged duelist, because they have 2 different damage boosts available to them. 3, I guess, technically, if Star-Lord gets low enough for the Luna Snow.
So we'll see what Stevenson University on the attacking side of things can do here to bounce back in this best of 5. Again, down by 1 map. Do or die for them. You mentioned it, the Groot could come out, and that's exactly what we see from Shosho. Pretty effective, I'd say, on this first objective too. especially if you don't have to deal with flyers as much. Speaking of flyers, Pinkie Pie is on that Iron Man, but not rocking the new skin. Come on, you got to pick that up because they are looking stylish. But either way, seeing the way that Shosho can be effective here, that's going to be the difference maker, because we didn't see the tanks as effective on Stevenson University before. So if they can create some space, make sure they protect their backline a little bit better from Scattered and also from the other tank in Emma, that's going to be a huge thing for them too. But Pinkie Pie just trying to stay alive, keep some damage going against them, make sure that they can poke out the Scattered so that they can't even get any damage against their defensive line. This is a huge look for Stevenson so far, but haven't made as much progress as they would like.
He is building up that ultimate here, and I love group into 3 support comps as well. The lack of shield break makes it so that his walls stay up insanely long amounts of time and cutting out field of view for the supports here, which is really important. They are going to block up Scattered temporarily, but Acclamation goes down in the grab animation. Very well played from Messiah to get their tank out of danger. Scattered has that Feast of Illness available. Big ET as well. Let's see if they're going to use it. So far, Stevenson have made 0 progress onto this point. They've built up a couple ultimates, and maybe they're looking for the strangling pulse bomb, but they've got to be absolutely a killer on it right now. We do see Big ET pop that Emma ultimate. Scattered does go down, or Scattered actually takes down MP3 player. So Messiah Esports holding on to a lot of their resources at the moment. 5 ultimates in the bank.
Wow, and the speed at which Messiah Esports have been able to build up their ultimates is a key factor against Stevenson. It's been a struggle for them because they know that they have to wait for those to come out and exactly when they want time. There is a strangling prison that goes through on the objective, but the Shosho goes down so quickly. Galactic Legend from Lil Jim. This is exactly what they wanted, but they're actually getting counter out too, and that's great from Pinkie Pie. They knew how effective they were before, and again, the Pulse Bomb not where they wanted to place. So some odd placements for these ultimates, but really just goes to show how Stevenson University and Messiah Esports are just giving it their all, not focusing exactly on the damage that's being dealt with it, but more focusing on just trying to take out the competition as best as possible. There goes down Captain Burrito off the side. Sizzy does get taken out in kind afterwards, but a trade is well worth it, especially when Stevenson are trying to push on that objective.
Messiah does pick up a kill here. The Phoenix ultimate goes and comes very quickly as it doesn't get too much damage off. Little Jim, though, picks up another, and Messiah Esports have seemingly stabilized after the ult barrage from Stevenson. My criticism here, Vaudable, is that Shosho and Pinkie Pie did not link up for the LeBron D. Wade toss, right? It should be Pulse Bomb into the Brute ultimate, and they just didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a combination you can kind of expect to see. Maybe they're just not as familiar with it. Iron Man not played as much as they used to be. So timing-wise for Stevenson in terms of ultimates, that is a difficulty that we've seen with a lot of teams, knowing exactly when to coordinate them, if it's going to be most effective against another squad, so you can guarantee those KOs. But we do see the It's Jeff coming through yet again by Sizzy. They get 3 this time. They're going to be able to easily send them off the map. They're actually going themselves because it's do or die for this team in Stevenson. And if you can get rid of half the team, that's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, he had to go off the Abyss there simply because 2 of the 3 heroes that he swallowed have the capability to fly out. Both Star-Lord and Rocket can easily get out of the spit out. So very well played from Stevenson University. I'm going to say very well played from Sizzy, kind of saving the day on the Jeff. We talked about how easy it is for Jeff to find those moments where they can get multiple man-eats and take them off the map. Going to be a little bit harder here until it, kind of turns that first corner, but at least gives Stevenson 2.5 more minutes of life. And Scattered goes in and Scattered goes out. Back to spawn very quickly there, Vaudable.
Yeah, I mean, Scattered, they've been trying to be a little bit effective against this team, but I like this lineup from Stevenson because they're able to more effectively deal against that dive composition that we've seen from Messiah Esports. And that was the struggle that we saw from them in Domination, where they couldn't deal with it, and that's why they weren't able to come out on top, even with a single point. Galactic Legend does come through after the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, but Psionic Seduction to try and take them out of it, so they can't even do much. They do get 1 KO, though, on the Pinkie Pie, which does work out well enough. Scattered using the Feast of the Abyss, seeing if they can get anything just to get that reduction in healing from the other side. But even then, not enough for the picks that they're wanting. Still diving in to push them off the objective. Precious seconds being wasted thus far, and Scattered still staying alive for now.
Yeah, and the big difference there, Stevenson University unfortunately not able to combo any of their ultimates together. They do have Sho's Groot ultimate. Strangling Prison is available, but Messiah specifically, Toasty and Little Jim together, the damage boosted ultimate was what got them that initial kill. Psionic Seduction is going to come out from Messiah, Biggie Thanos specifically, which again, like you mentioned, is going to waste more and more time. Vision of Skies does pop that Mantis ultimate. We do see the Groot ultimate come out, but in response, Captain Velatro is going to pop the Luna Snow, and we are going to see both teams sustaining back up to full. Although Little Jim is being super annoying here, gets the solo kill onto Pinkie Pie, and arguably Iron Man's one of his biggest counters is Star-Lord here.
That's what we've seen happen so many times just in the early days of Marvel Rivals when Iron Man used to be more in the meta, is that, oh yeah, I can fly around. I have those invulnerability frames, especially too with his flips that he does, so makes it a little bit more difficult for the Iron Man, and exactly why you see Pinkie Pie swap off of it. So it's Jeff comes here from Sizzy. They were pretty effective before. They are able to get one, so they will take them off the map and scattered, and perfect positioning with it too, so they couldn't even recover because of how low how high the ceiling is for that death block. So nice to see that pick from Sizzy. They've been super effective with their ultimates on Jeff, but will it be enough? They're in overtime so far. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier giving that damage boost to the rest of the team. Messiah Esports with the Galactic Legend, and Little Jim has been so effective getting those time and time again, building an ult charge so quickly. Pick onto Sizzy. We do see the Phoenix ultimate come through, not even getting an objective pick there, trying to see if they can take out the Emma, but the Psionic Seduction, it did come through again. There is going to be the grab onto the end of it, but good look from Biggie T Thanos, getting 2 picks themselves. Little Jim gets a couple. Final touch here with the portal, which did shake things up and delay Ratatasker from moving forward. But will this be enough for Stevenson University? They are just getting torn to pieces. And again, it's been a decimation. Messiah Esports cannot be stopped.
Stevenson does get it past that first point and around the bend, so it's about 1.5. But Messiah Esports, the difference maker there is just the combination of their ultimates. The only reason Little Jim was able to get that kill onto Sizzy, it was a damage boosted, it was a rocket ulted legendary, but Scattered also dropped the Feast of Abyss onto multiple members in the backline while the Luna Snow ultimate was going. Therefore, the healing wasn't there, so the damage boosted Star-Lord ultimate was able to burn through Sizzy there, even though he was sitting on top of the Luna Snow ultimate. That is what you call coordination from Messiah Esports, right? The knowledge and the ability to execute on those key ultimate combos is what's going to guarantee you those fight wins. If that doesn't happen, Vaudable, I think we're looking at a 0.2 capture from Stevenson.
We'll see if they can do it. This is a good look so far on the defensive end, but will it be enough for them to take the game here? I mean, Biggie T Thanos doing some good work on Messiah Esports on the Emma. I think the Emma save really benefited them on their side of things too. Kind of looking back at the save, the bans and protects from these two teams. Messiah Esports prioritizing the Star-Lord and the Venom worked pretty decent for their end of things, and now that they are on the attacking side, it's going to only benefit them even more. So it's going to be easy for the Star-Lord to flank around and the Venom because of how open the spaces are for them to maneuver around and gonna get on that objective. Toasty with their beacon works so well for them too. Even the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier with that extra damage that they've been able to get, and the extra damage from the Mantis on top of that. I mean, there's so many different avenues for Messiah Esports just to get extra damage and to convert these KOs that Stevenson University haven't really been taking advantage of.
Stevenson, though, on the defensive side, are opting in for a 3 support composition, and there's a hero that you talked about, Adam Warlock, seeing a little bit of play. The res, disgustingly valuable at, like you said, these lower level matches, right? Out of Pearl play, tier 2, collegiate, a full 4 or 5 man res can absolutely flip the momentum of any single fight. And Stevenson have the ability to full hold Messiah, which we have seen before, right? Full holding on this first point is super common.
It happens so often. I mean, basically you load into quick play and play this map, and you'll probably see it more than half the amount of times that you play it. So we'll see if that does come to bear for Stevenson University, and that would be a great thing for them to tie up the series. Because again, this tournament, or this series specifically, the best of 5, whoever wins it pretty much guarantees themselves a spot in at the playoffs for their specific division and their conference. So we'll see if they can do it. A little bit of a duel between the Star Lords here. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier is coming out, but we do see Lil Jim trying to build up their ultimate as effectively as possible. Feel the Abyss comes through, but there is going to be the Luna Snow ultimate doing some good work just to keep them on the objective as much as possible. Acclamation, I was mentioning how we had to kind of keep an eye on them before. They're going to get sedated here, not have as much to work with in the fight as they were liking to. Galactic Legend comes through again. There's been so many ultimates popped for just this single objective, and time ticking down, but this is a massive double play from Pinkie Pie. We'll see if they can get the triple. At least they're going to do some damage just to stay alive, and a good portal back to the objective.
Despite Messiah Esports losing that fight, I'm kind of surprised that Big ET was able to get 2 psionic seductions off in that extended grapple. Stevenson University, though, holding on with the hero play from Pinkie Pie. The other big mistake Messiah Esports made, both Mantis and Rocket support ulted at the same time. The double support ultimate is what did them in here. And Stevenson, if you look over onto their side, they've got a giant karmic retribution just waiting to be rocked here for Stevenson University.
Yeah, so even if we do see a team fight won by Messiah Esports, if Sizzy does have their revive, the personal revive available, and they can kind of escape with it and then pop the Karmic Revival, that'll be massive for them. We do see the Galactic Legend, though, for Lil Jim. There's the Meteor M to try and bait it out, but they actually fired it off a little bit too fast, so the Galactic Legend will last a little longer. Not going to get a single pick, though, because of the positioning from the rest of Stevenson. So this positioning on the first point hold is massive for Stevenson. So that way they can hold things down. We do see a bit of a duel between the Star Lords yet again in the same area, but not the push that we're wanting from Messiah Esports if they want to at least get this first capture.
Both Cosmic Guard Amplifiers go crazy here, and
that was a bit early.
Karmic Retribution, it is a little bit early, but I think he suspects that his team might go down. Spence does pop the ultimate, and yeah, you'd love to have that Adam Warlock ultimate now of all times when his team's actually getting wiped. Messiah Esports take full advantage of the whiffed Karmic Retribution. We do have Pinkie Pie popping the Legendary once again, picks up 2 kills. Can he get more? The bubble in tow, and they might actually just hold it. Wow. It doesn't matter if you don't have Adam Botable, because Pinkie Pie will go Legendary here.
Beautiful plays here from Pinkie Pie, again completing the penta, backing their team up on the objective. Final portal now here from Vision, just to keep them in the fight even more so, because they knew the portal was going to come out from Messiah Esports. Last ditch effort for them to capture the objective, and they need the full team wipe. We do again from Big ET Thanos see the psionic seduction, but there is going to be Captain Belatra just doing everything that they can to keep them in this fight as well. Nobody's gone down on Messiah Esports. Stevenson University, we'll see what they can do. They do get 1 KO, but there's a bit of a trade. Lil Jim does take out Sizzy, who's gone down time and time again in these fights. Another Psionic Seduction, this one from Show, just to keep them on the objective. The overtime ticking down here, Chevy, and it looks like it might be a Stevenson University hold.
Stevenson just got to clean up a couple more kills here. Scattered will almost have that Eye of Agamotto available. He's 7%. He's fiending for it, Botable, but he gets grabbed up. He's going to go up here. Eye of Agamotto gets taken down, and this time Scattered has to come up huge here. Eye of Agamotto is available. He's holding on to it. He's trying to get it away. Messiah Esports might just back Stevenson into the corner. They might make him play a little bit more Marvel Rivals here as the Meteor M from Acclamation whiffs. Doesn't hit anybody. Another Legendary, this time from Little Jim, copying Pinkie Pie. And they are actually going to flip the point with a sliver of overtime left. I don't think Stevenson is going to have the opportunity to hold, but they're going to try. Pinkie Pie is actually just going to skate on by. Messiah Esports, talk about a heart attack.
Scattered was MVP in the previous map. They're the ones who saved this map for them. If they did not hold it down like the way that they did, preventing the Eye of Agamotto from Vision, from going off and actually affecting most of their team because they blocked it with their strange shield. That way they were actually able to keep themselves in the fight, and they still have it available for them. They're still waiting for their time to strike against them, and it could be just one big pop-off moment against Stevenson University, who only have 2 ultimates themselves. So they have Fate Above Worlds. They do have the Galactic Legend. We did see that Avagomoto go off, but they do get stunned away instead, somehow staying alive because of that Fate Above Worlds. Actually, no, it's going to be Yo Spence keeping them alive with the Mantis ult, pushing the distance, though. Steven University, they're getting sent back to the brink as much as they can, but we do have the Eternal Bond coming through to keep them in the objective.
And this time, Pinkie Pie's Legendary does get responded by Balatro's Fate of Both Worlds here. Acclamation is 5% towards the Meteor Ram, and that's the next big ultimate. Toasty, though, has seemingly swapped over to the Storm, saying, we just need one team fight win. I just have to pop my Hurricane. Although Shosho is going to drop the Meteor Ram with Acclamation on top of Messiah's head, but both tanks go down for Stevenson, and Toasty is going to be coming back very quickly with the Storm ultimate, but it doesn't matter. I think Messiah Esports are actually just going to take the round. Stevenson goes down!
2, 1.
Stevenson were holding for the longest time possible, but OT didn't matter because Messiah Esports were able to clutch things out in the end. Didn't even need the full 2 minutes and change to capture the point and get to that final hurdle past the finish line for them to go up 2-0. And Chibi, we've seen so many game 5s with the state that Stevenson University have found themselves in. This might just be a clean sweep.
Yeah, potentially here. Stevenson right now staring down match point against Messiah, and rightfully the MVP goes to Biggie T Thanos. Vaudable, I counted the amount of ultimates he had just in that round alone. Do you want to guess? You want to guess how many it was?
I'm going to guess 10.
It was 7. It was 7.
Okay, I thought it was almost that much.
No. I think it was 10 for the whole match, but that specific round offensively, yeah, Danos had 7 psionic seductions. Disgusting. I mean, I don't know how he was building it so quickly. He must have been at perma 100 charge pretty much the whole game there, and really was the difference maker, I think, on top of, like you said, Scattered kind of playing hero, holding that point down, and that's a bit of a miscommunication from Stevenson, right? In those tense, clutch moments, you as a team need to go, hey, focus this person down, everybody dump their damage, because what's happening is Messiah Esports are trickling in members. They don't have the amount of healing that a typical 6-man squad would. So what you have to do in those 10 situations, focus one guy down and just keep going. Rinse and repeat, and that's how you kind of conquer those overtime situations. It's when you start trying to do everything that you can start to see the overtime situation start bending in the other team's favor. When you try to take out Strange and Jeff and Mantis and all these different people, your damage is being split up, and it's just buying more time for their team to come back. And in these kind of situations, the first point, the offensive side is somewhat closer to the point than the defense.
This is also a crazy stat line too. 36-4, 42k damage and 43k damage blocked from Biggie T Thanos. I mean, they did it all for their team. We only saw a little bit more damage blocked by Shosho, mainly also because they were just getting taken out so quickly a couple times there as well. So just the difference in final hits, 17 for Biggie T Thanos. We only saw 3 from Shosho. So it seems the Vanguard line in general is the difference maker here. Pinkie Pie, of course, the SVP on the other side, 11 final hits for their side. And we saw the pop off, you know, with the Penta that they were able to get to hold the objective. And the portals at the end is really what saved things. Scattered, they were the MVP to at least get them that first point to keep the dream going to actually win this map. And then Biggie T Thanos, of course, just building that all charge time and time again. Toasty giving those damage boosts. Spency just doing everything that they can as well to damage boost probably Biggie T Thanos so that they could actually get as much damage onto the other team and get those final hits. We saw a lot from Lil Jim, and they were doing great work too, but they kept getting targeted so much by the other team, and I feel like a little bit Pinkie Pie was focusing so much on dueling Lil Jim that they weren't focusing as much on the back line, because we only saw 3 KOs on Dispense and 5 KOs onto Captain Blotpro. So seeing the way that the backline was able to survive as much as it did for Messiah was also another difference maker. Like, everything coming together worked out for Messiah. Sizzy, I feel so bad for them because they got targeted time and time again. We saw when I think it was Scattered swapped to the Thing for a moment, targeted them, forced them to use their Karmic Revival, and it was wasted. They couldn't even use it to stay on the objective. So like moments like that are why we see a team fall apart. When Stevenson University seemed so good at the start to hold things down and clearing things out, as we were mentioning, with that full hold in that first objective. But again, they did their all. We'll see what they could do in it this next one. Any final thoughts from you, Shivy?
I mean, I think you summed it up really well there, Vaudable. You kind of broke down what was happening, and maybe the duels were a little too much. Pinkie Pie does have the opportunity to do one of the funniest things here and potentially do a reverse sweep and keep our streak alive here for a
That's
5-game match.
It
But
could
Vaudable, before we get into game 3, we are going to take a very, very small break. Go get some tea, get some coffee, maybe a snack if you're hungry. I know it's dinner time for a lot of people here, but don't go anywhere because, again, me and Vaudable have a pretty much weekly 5-game series guaranteed for us. And you might just be here to experience in the Stevenson comeback. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And yeah, bye-bye.